Uh, hey guys, sorry I've been gone for so long. Um, I've been babysitting my cousins a lot. Don't mind if like the video in the background glitches out some, or if I just randomly stop talking. I've got kind of a sore throat because I was dealing with my cousins. I didn't even know that the video had uploaded properly. So it freaked me out whenever I went to look at my channel and saw that it had uploaded. We're back reading Kitsune, ANBU, naruto / gaanaru. We are on chapter 16, I believe, because we did 2 chapters in the last video. I'm hoping to get 2 more chapters done today, maybe even a 3rd one. Depends, because this video is probably going to be about 40 minutes long. I know that the video that I have like for the background of this is like 43, 46 minutes. But it is 44 minutes long. I'm hoping to cut that in half and use half of it for one video, the other half for the other video. Yeah. But I'm still not good at editing, so I'm probably also going to turn down the background noise on Minecraft. But I guess we'll go ahead and get started on this next chapter of Kitsune, ANBU, naruto / gaanaru. I quietly Okay, never mind. I can't speak right now. Holy crap. I need to get a drink of my drink real fast. And the thing is, I just reread it so that I knew what I was getting into for this chapter and for this video. Oh my god, it was such a pain because I kept mixing up my words because of my dyslexia, and it was a pain. Let's go ahead and get into it. Sorry for speaking for so long. I quietly crept through the door to not wake up the sleeping panda in my arms. That's it! That's the new nickname! I chuckled to myself and snuck up to my room and placed the panda in my bed. I went back downstairs to eat something to restore some of my chakra. When I was relaxing, eating some cookies when Conqueror burst through the kitchen door. Is he okay? Where did you guys go? Did you fuck him? He asked, quickly grabbing me by the scruff of my collar. I chuckled and let him lift me in the air. I quirked an eyebrow at him, and he sighed and dropped me, going to fill up a glass of water. The flower is sleeping on my bed. I went to my favorite pond to clear my head, and he followed me. And no, I did not fuck him, but we are dating now, I said nonchalantly. He spit out his drink. I sighed and felt around the sink for the paper rolls I always kept there. I quickly cleaned up the mess and looked at him. How was all Conqueror could muster. I shrugged. I kissed him. His yell stopped me. How? He yelled. I chuckled. He was teasing me, so I warned him. He didn't believe me, so I pushed him in the lake with me. I kissed him there, and we both decided to date, I answered. Conqueror shook his head in disbelief, and I laughed. Alright, dude, I totally support my baby brother in whatever he does. So break his heart and I'll break you. He growled. I nodded. I'm gonna real fast pull my mic a little bit closer because I think the audio from everything else is gonna try and mess with it. So don't mind if I get really loud. I have to pause this for a second. Hang on. Okay, I'm back. No need for that. I like your brother more than I can put into words. He's so fragile and delicate and can fall apart with the slightest touch if you're not careful enough, like a flower. But he's so beautiful that you can't help but take your chances, I hummed. He stared at me in shock. Are you a poet or something? He asked. I quirked an eyebrow at him again. Something else. All right, well, I'm going to go to bed. It's like midnight. How are you not tired? He laughed. I shrugged. I'm getting used to not getting any sleep, was all I answered before going upstairs. I heard the pitter-patter of small footsteps running back to my room, and I laughed soundlessly. I entered the room and found Gara pretending to be asleep, but miserably failing. I know you're awake, Flower, I whispered. He groaned and sat up, rubbing his eyes, and then I had the feeling I did this morning. I felt so bad that I couldn't see how adorable my flower was. I took a deep breath and closed my eyes to calm myself. I heard a small whimper, and I opened my eyes. Did I do something wrong? He whispered. I looked confused for a second, then I realized that I looked like I was trying to calm myself down to someone who didn't know would know what I was feeling. I gasped softly, and quickly hugged him. Oh, for God's sake, Gara, no. No, you did nothing wrong. I was just feeling frustrated like I was this morning. I can only picture how cute you would look, but I can't see. I sighed. He nodded in understanding. I smiled and released him. I got up and was about to go to the small couch in my room when I heard a small voice. Please stay. I turned around with a small smile. I turned to him. There we go. With a small smile. Of course, my flower, I whispered. He seemed to smile a little more when I climbed into my bed and sat down at the top of the bed. I started looking through paperwork for Gigi. So, you like me more than words go? A tiny panda teased, and laid across my lap, his head on one side of my legs and his upper back on the other side. And let me tell you, it was hot, but something then didn't seem right, so I played along. Yes, my flower, more than words describe, I whispered, while tangling my fingers through his hair, and then running them through the thick strands. Well, would actions show it? Oof. I love how I know this chapter's already almost over, but it doesn't seem like it should be this short. He whispered somewhat seductively. I smirked and went to kiss him, and tried to ignore the flinch he gave. I started the kiss slow and gave him enough time to turn away. Wait. I pulled away from him and pushed the papers to the end of my bed. Gara, sit up, I said sternly. His eyes widened, and he quickly sat up on my legs, facing me. I reached for his shoulder slowly and started rubbing it. Then I softly let him into my chest, so I was sort of cradling him. Did I do something wrong? He asked. I sighed. Somewhat, but to answer that, I need you to answer this. Did you want to do that? I asked. He stuttered and looked up at me. I thought you would... He started, but I stopped him. I would have enjoyed it if you would have wanted to do that, I explained. He looked onto my face, and he could only stutter and start crying. Aw, shh, Flower, I've got you, don't cry, I whispered, and lay down on the pillow with him on top of me. After a while of rubbing his back and whispering sweet nothings into his ear, he calmed down. He hesitantly reached his hands under me, and I frowned. His arms will be dead in the morning. I hugged him and turned him on his back and laid down on top of him. not putting all my weight on him, of course, and led his arms to my back. He looked embarrassed, so me being me, I buried my face into his chest more. He yelped quietly, and I chuckled. I can't fall asleep without hugging anything. He struggled to get words out, and I quietly shushed him. It's alright, Flower. I don't mind. Don't think I didn't catch you with that teddy bear last night. I smiled. His face reddened, and he looked away. Don't disrespect Mr. Snuggles, he muttered. Now where was I? He muttered. I laughed and pecked his cheek, making him smile. Go to sleep, Flower. You need it, I insisted. He yawned and nodded. I buried my face into his chest, and his hands wrapped around me. Hey, Naru, he whispered. I hummed in response. I loved how the nickname just rolled off his tongue. No second thoughts. You can put your full weight on me. Oh, no, bad mind, no dirty thoughts, only when he's ready. I don't mind a bit of pressure. He winked and fell asleep. Dear God, let him be ready soon. Okay, that was that chapter. Now I have to resituate some things and let my voice rest for a minute because my voice is starting to crack. So we'll be back in a second. It won't seem like long at all for you because I'm literally pausing it, but I'll start reading again in like probably 10 minutes for me. Okay, I'm back. I took quite a bit longer break than I thought I would, but I was rereading the next chapter and also watching YouTube. But we've got the next chapter here. It's a little bit longer than the last chapter, so. Also, I'm holding my mic at the moment because I don't know if I can have it set up right at the moment. And I want to try and have it as best set up as I can. I'll probably fix it like in a few minutes if I can find the other half of my actual stand. There we go. Found my stand. I'm a real fast pause and fix it because it'll be easier for me. Okay, I got it sat up a little bit better. And we're on the next chapter. And we'll go ahead and get right into it. Before we knew it, the second part of the tuning exams was over. We were all led into a large hall, and we could look down onto the fights. The panda was next to me, and his siblings next to him. My squad was standing beside me. They were all highly supportive of our relationship. Sakura had squealed like a fangirl with Tamari. Sasuke had clapped and placed a hand on my back and nodded in approval. Konkoro had threatened me, but congratulated us nonetheless, and we were all happy. Gigi explained the preliminary event, and the first fight would be Sasuke and Rock Lee. Sasuke was able to pull through and win, but was highly damaged. Rock Lee was as well, but he simply passed out from exhaustion. Next was Kiba and I. I forfeit was his immediate reaction. Was his immediate reaction. Can't speak. And he grabbed Akamaru and hid behind his squad. I chuckled and shook my head. The match went on, and the people who passed were my Flower. I think they mean Choji. Shino, Neji, Tintin, Konkoro, Tamari, Shikamaru, and I. Didn't we already take out those Sound Village ninjas? I asked Panda-chan. He shrugged. I don't think we took their scroll, he explained. I sighed and nodded. At least they got their asses beat again, I chuckled, and the entire squad left. He agreed. I looked up at Gigi, and he was staring into my soul. I yelped and jumped behind Gaara. You're stronger than Kage level, and an old man scares you? Gaara asked with a bored expression. I nodded. My flower, if I die, I want you to know I love you, I said dramatically, and placed my forearm over my eyes and swayed. He rolled his eyes, and I pecked his cheek. He smiled slightly, and then Kakashi shushed in front of us, scaring everyone but me. And that doesn't scare you? Panda-chan asked me. I chuckled. Kakashi bowed at my feet, and I rolled my eyes. Get your ass up, Kakashi. I'm not in gear right now, I scolded. He sighed. I see you have a new tattoo, Captain. Kakashi sighed. I chuckled nervously and scratched the back of my neck. Ah! Oh god, I hope that didn't make too bad of a noise. My mic just fell over. Oof. I'm trying to fix it so I can just, hold it if I have to. Oh god, this is the part where I had a freaking heart attack. In the game. Oh my god, it scared me so badly because I was in the middle of playing and I was just walking around like a normal human being, and then all of a sudden the little shit just came up and spooked me. It scared me to death, man. You'll see how I'll try and type that out, saying what happened to me after I eat this bread. But I can't spell. So even if I spelled it right or if I spelled it wrong, it looks wrong to me. I really did have a fucking heart attack at that, though. I wasn't doing anything wrong. You can see how bad my spelling is. Holy fuck. I was trying to spell it right so badly. I'm just watching this now. Okay, I need to stop watching that and actually read. New? Gaara asked. I gulped and clung to Kakashi. Get us out of here, Hatake, I yelped, and Kakashi shushed away. We need to seal that mark, Captain. We have ANBU in here, though. Is that alright? Hatake asked. I nodded, and he started setting up his ritual shit. So, who was that? Kakashi asked with a smirk while writing on the floor. I smirked back. My boyfriend. And ANBU spit out his water in the hall. Wow, didn't know the cold-hearted Kitsune was capable of loving, Hatake teased. I glared at him. Don't. Or else I'll take away your Icha Icha Paradise books and not let the pervy sage sign them. I rolled my eyes. It's not that hard when you're with the panda. I chuckled. He sighed. All right, Captain, are you ready? He asked. I sighed and nodded. He made a few hand signs, and then the symbols ran at the mark. I bit my lip. The pain was unbearable, like I was on fire, and the flames were finding ways into my body, or I was getting slashed by millions of knives. I couldn't help but scream. Only one word could describe that scream. Agony. The ANBU in the room were shaking. They had never heard the Kitsune scream. He had seared his wounds with a blazing hot knife and didn't even flinch. He's pulled bullets and knives out of him with no second thoughts. They would probably all have nightmares for the rest of their lives. Okay, I need to do something. I need to open a new drink real fast. Give me a second. I was panting and trying to keep breathing. I thought of my flower, and it brought a ghost of a smile to my face. The cursed sign was sealed. Sorry about that. and I collapsed on the floor panting. "Captain," Kakashi desperately yelled. I smacked his hand away before he could touch me. "I'm sorry for causing you pain, Captain," Kakashi whispered, and dropped to the floor in a kneel. I was getting up. I smacked him on the head. "Get your ass up, Hatake. You did what you needed to. I can't hold this against you if I wanted." I sighed, and he shakily got up. "Besides, I've had worse, and I was 4 when it happened." I sighed. Kakashi hung his head, and I patted his shoulder. "Let's go get some ramen. You're paying," I demanded as I walked out of the door. He sighed and followed, knowing his wallet would be a few pounds lighter. We sat at the Ichiraku shop and ordered what we wanted. "So, all of the Rookie 9, Squad 11, and the Sand siblings know your Kitsune?" he asked, as the old man served our ramen. I nodded. "Gigi's gonna slaughter me," I groaned. Hatake sighed and patted my shoulder. "What about that dream of yours?" he asked softly. I crossed my arms on the bar and laid my head on them with a small smile. "It's one step closer," I whispered. He smiled and patted my back again. "That's good. Now I sure think Hokage-sama would want to talk to you." Kakashi smiled. I glared at him. "Wipe that smile off your face before I smack it off." He immediately stopped, and after a couple more bowls of ramen, Kakashi paid, and we headed towards the Hokage. "Gigi, I'm home," I yelled as I walked in the door. Gigi glared into my soul, and my sweat dropped. We continued to stare into each other's soul. "I'm glad you're making friends, Naruto," is all he said before going back to paperwork. My eyes were the size of balloons, and I just stared at him. "Well, what are you standing there for? Go to your boyfriend. He seemed worried." Gigi smirked. My face flushed as an ANBU in the room gasped in surprise. One even fell off the rafters. "Oh, zombie boy." Oh yeah, I heard a baby zombie. And I said nope and fucked out of there. Sorry, I keep getting distracted by the actual video itself. "Gigi," I yelled. He chuckled. "I'm happy for you, Naru, but I better not catch you fucking." He glared. I chuckled. "Not for a while, Gigi. I don't think he's ready yet anyways." I told him I'd wait until he's ready. "How did you know anyways?" I asked. He chuckled. "You didn't think I'd catch you kissing him? I didn't catch you kissing him on the cheek?" he asked. I laughed and sighed. "All right, Gigi. I need to check on my flower." I winked and he shook his head with a small smile. I shushed into my flower's hotel room to find out he wasn't there. His siblings were. They told me that he was going out for a walk. I did a quick sweep of the village and started to get worried. I shushed him back to my house and ran to my room and almost broke my closet door when I was quickly looking for my ANBU outfit. "Naruto?" came a tired whisper. I flipped around and saw my flower wrapped up in my blankets and my pillow next to him. He must have been hugging that, was my first thought. I let out a sigh of relief. "Thank the gods. I couldn't find you, flower," I whispered, and took my shirt off and sat on the bed. He hung his head. "I'm sorry," he whispered. And guilt. It broke my heart. "Gaara, look at me," I said softly. I used his name so he immediately looked at me. "You have nothing to be sorry about. It's just that when you tell your siblings you're going out for a walk, I don't expect you to be tangled up in my sheets hugging my pillow," I teased. God, all those... They scare me even though I don't even have Minecraft open at the moment. I remember swearing because I didn't make that jump the first time. I teased. He blushed and looked away. He mumbled something that I couldn't hear. What was that flower? I asked. It smelled like you, all right? He yelled. I chuckled. I leaned down and kissed his temple. I'm gonna go take a shower, and then you can have something cleaner to hug. I winked. He flushed more and rolled away. I smiled and got a quick shower. And when I got out, I saw my flower looking at me. I smiled again and climbed into bed with him. He hesitantly reached for me, and I hugged him tightly. I started running my hands through his hair and occasionally kissing his forehead. He fell asleep pretty fast. I sighed happily and kissed his head one more time before falling asleep. When I woke up, I could smell something cooking downstairs, and I chuckled because Gara wasn't beside me. I took a quick shower and went to my flower, with my hair still wet. I quickly waited for Panda-chan to finish cooking and go to the sink so he wouldn't burn himself. As quickly as I could, I snuck up to him and quickly wrapped my arms around him. He yelped and dropped the pan he was washing, and water flew everywhere. I laughed as he struggled to get out of my grasp. I kissed his neck slightly, and he rolled his eyes, but I could tell he liked it. I smirked and did it a few more times, eventually getting a moan out of him. I smirked, and he blushed while looking away. I kissed his cheeks and looked at the table and saw eggs, bacon, and toast waiting for me. Aw, Flower, you didn't have to do this, I told him and hugged him. He smiled softly. It's the least I could do for all that you've helped me. And who says I can't make breakfast for my boyfriend? He accused with a teasing tone. I forgot how weird some of this is. Where was I? I almost moaned at how the word just rolled off his tongue. I smiled instead. All right, Flower, is all I said before sitting down and waiting for him to do the same. I saw him lift something over his head and hang it up. I gasped. Were you wearing an apron? I gasped with a teasing tone. His eyes widened and he started denying it, but then he stopped. How come you can see me but not the apron? He asked. So you were wearing an apron, I yelled. He rolled his eyes and chuckled. Well, it's like life, I guess. Anything that has chakra I can see, so I can see trees and plants, as well as people and animals. But I can't see stuff like clothes or walls, and everything is sort of in a blue tint. I explained. He nodded. We continued to eat. So I have a few errands. So I have to run a few errands. Want to come with me? I heard that we have a month break to train. I told him, and I started washing dishes with him. Yes, please, he answered. I smiled and kissed his temple, pulled on my shoes. He followed, and I grabbed my wallet and keys to the house. We started walking along, and I picked up some more ninja tools and was about to get groceries when I heard Gara wincing as he picked up something. I immediately put everything down and grabbed his shoulders. Are you alright? Are you hurt? I asked frantically and started feeling around for blood. He laughed and shook his head. Oh God, that sound. I will never not love that sound. I'm fine, Naruto. Just sore. He quickly corrected. I stopped. What was that? I asked with a smirk. He quickly pretended to act confused. I don't know what you're talking about, he quickly said. I chuckled. What were you going to call me? I teased. He looked away, embarrassed. Babe. He whispered. I laughed and hugged him. He smiled and I kissed him. He kissed back, but our kiss was short and sweet when I remembered that he had winced. Come on, I urged as I packed up all of our bags. Where are we going? The hot springs, I told him. He immediately blushed. Naruto, I'm not sure if I'm ready for you to see me naked, he whispered. I laughed, and laughed some more. I think someone forgot I'm blind. I chuckled. Realization hit him, and he laughed with me. We headed to the hot springs after I dropped my stuff at home. And when we were walking to the lockers, I don't know what word that they have written there, but it's not caught. But I know it's supposed to mean be caught. I caught a glimpse of someone. Someone with long hair sitting on a toad, peeking through a hole in the wall. I got at one of the ladies' hot springs. One thought hit my mind. Pervy Sage, where the fuck have you been? That's that chapter. I'm gonna go take a break real fast and read through the next chapter because I'm gonna hope I can get this chapter in for this video, and then I'll end it. So, I'll be right back. Okay, so I read the next chapter so I could start it on here and everything. Oh, and the end of it got me wheezing. Okay, let's go ahead and start. Pervy Sage, what the fuck are you doing here? Damn it, you brat, I've told you, it's Toad Sage. The Pervy Sage yelled while striking a dramatic pose. I smacked him over the head and sighed while he yelped. Hey, don't treat me like that or else I won't treat you to ramen, he warned. A tick mark appeared on my forehead. Last time we went to a village, you stole all of my fucking savings for women, I yelled. He sighed and hung his head. I heard a laugh from behind me. I then realized that my flower was still here. Pervy Sage, I have to introduce you to someone, I said excitedly. He raised an eyebrow. Pervy Sage, this is Gaara of the Sand, my boyfriend. I introduced and ignored the pervert's yell in surprise. And Flower, this is my godfather, Jiraiya the Toad Sage, but I call him Pervy Sage. I shrugged. Gaara giggled, and it made my heart burst. You are capable of loving the Kitsune? Jiraiya yelled. I said Gaara, I meant Jiraiya. Jiraiya yelled. I laughed. It's hard not to love my flower, I said with a huge smile and pecked Panda-chan on the cheek. Jiraiya sighed. I seriously don't know how you like boys. The pervert sighed. A wave of anger hit me, and I hit him over the head, harder. Just the same as you love women, I stated strongly. He rolled his eyes, and I stuck my tongue out at him. Flower, how about you go get in the spring and Pervy Sage and I will catch up? I asked. He smiled softly and nodded. I gave him the money for the spring, and before he could argue, I kissed his cheek and knocked the Pervy Sage off the toad and scratched the toad's chin. You can go back now, I smiled. He bowed and hopped away. Oh, come on, Naruto, that was my ride, he yelled at me. I rolled my eyes. You mean your seat for peeking into the girl's hot spring? I deadpanned. He nervously laughed, and I rolled my eyes. I still can't believe you got laid. I stopped him and smacked him over the head. He's not ready, and I'm going to wait until he's ready, I declared. It's killing you, isn't it? More than you think, I admitted and plopped down on the ground. Ha ha. Jiraiya laughed. I rolled my eyes. He's too hot and cute at the same time. Like, he's all I've ever wanted, but I respect that he's not ready yet. His dad is one huge bastard. I'm glad that he has his siblings. I sighed. That's right. His dad is a Kage, right? Does that mean he's Shukaku? Jiraiya asked. I nodded. Shukaku did something, and I'm the only one that can get past his sand. I'll have to thank him, I smirked. Jiraiya sighed and shook his head. We continued speaking for a while until Jiraiya spotted the mark on my shoulder. Naruto, he said in a warning tone. I gave him a bored look. What? What's on your shoulder? He asked, making me sigh. Snake Bitch was at the tuning exams. He managed to bite me. It's supposed to make me only use half my chakra, but the mark did something and now I can only use half of Kurama's chakra. I'm fine, but we need to find a way to break this. I have enough tattoos already, I sighed. Jiraiya glared at me, and I just shrugged. It's going to be about an hour. I'm going to go get Gaara, I told him. He nodded and got up with me. I found the room Gaara was in and what I saw pissed me off more than anything can describe. Two guys were flirting with him, and one of them was getting a bit touchy. He was helpless because he was in water. I stormed over there and grabbed a towel on my way over. Gaara, love, it's time to go. We're going to get ramen. I smiled. The boys let him go, and I led Gaara to the changing room. I sighed. I wish I could see that motherfucker's face. I growled. Gaara gave me a look. If you got that surgery, you would be able to. He scowled. Jiraiya froze. I froze as well. Oh shit. You could have gotten surgery and you didn't tell me? Jiraiya yelled. I sighed. Yes, I recently found out that the doctors lied to me. And I think it's wrong to take someone else's eyes for myself. And on top of that, I don't trust anyone in this village to do the surgery. The only person I would trust is Ba-san. And she's who knows where. There we go. I argued. Jiraiya got that creepy look in his eye. Oh, we'll find that old lady. Find the old lady, and we will get your eyes fixed, brat. Jiraiya yelled. I rolled my eyes. I'm sure Itachi would give you an eye in a heartbeat if you had the blood for the Sharingan. Perfy Sage sighed. I looked to the side and started whistling. Naruto? Jiraiya warned. Fine, our ancestors were siblings. I technically have a bloodline connected with him. I don't know what he was trying to say. This is trying to say. Then ask Danzo and Itachi, Gaara said quietly. Jiraiya turned to him. Great idea. Jiraiya yelled. I sighed. Flower, I know you're trying to help, but you know how I feel about this. He nodded and hugged me. I hugged him back. This is the part that got me wheezing. Then you're just going to miss out on seeing our first time fucking. Gaara whispered in my ear. Jiraiya, find Ba-san and tell her to get her ass over here after the final exam for the Chunin exams are over. Yeah, that got me wheezing. It killed me. That's all we're gonna do in this one. We did what was it? 3 chapters? Yeah, I think it was 3 chapters. I'll go up a couple chapters. Okay, we read 4 chapters actually. 1 chapter, 2 chapters, and 3 chapters. Okay, we've read 3 chapters for this video. I'm gonna sit here and explain basically everything. The reason why I wasn't actually uploading for a bit. So for a bit I thought that the last video didn't upload because whenever I clicked to upload it, the program that I use right now kept saying that it didn't upload. So I had done it a second time, and whenever I checked it just a couple weeks ago, actually about a week ago probably, it said that hang on, brain not working, hang on. It said that there were 2 of the same exact video uploaded. So I freaked out and decided, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and delete the second one and then start working on this one. And trust me whenever I say it, oh, I was so tired because I was trying to figure out how many chapters I would be able to get done, how exactly long I was gonna work for, and it was just a pain in the ass all over. But I finally got it set up and got it done, and here we are now with this video getting recorded and hopefully uploaded. This world that you're seeing is one that I'm going to be playing on Twitch a lot, so if you want to see me work on this world, you can come watch me on Twitch, twitch.tv/solarmoonbird. I stream mainly Tuesdays and Thursdays. Sometimes I don't, sometimes I do. It depends on how I'm feeling that day. But I stream about 9 p.m. EST to about 10 p.m. So sometimes I'll stream longer. Before I had gotten my mod on there, I streamed only 1 hour. Now I'm streaming like 2 hours every stream because they'll sit there and talk to me the entire time. And I'm gonna have to, in this world, set up the exact same thing that we did in the other world. Because at the end of stream, at the end of every stream, I would build a new penis. And I was gonna make just like a penis shrine. So I ended up with 4 penises because we made 2 in one stream. And then, no, 3 in one stream. And then the next stream I did after that, I made another one. I'll have to go find that world and actually get into it so that I can see just exactly how big they were and what block I used. And if I used like netherite or something, I won't keep that for me. I'll probably replace it with like black wool or something. Oh my god, rainbow dicks. Oh my god, yes. I just thought of it. Toaster's gonna be so proud of me. But I'll have to see what we named them because we came up with names for them. So I'll have to see what we named them and write down the names. Oh god, this is gonna be so fun. But this video is actually almost done. Holy cow. Got about a minute left. But I will be working on this world separately. I have another world where I'm like trying like the same seed and everything, where I have it in creative so that I can like figure out how I want to do stuff, because there is a certain way I want to build this, like fix up this area, because I had a hardcore world of this one, but I died. There's a big mountain over, if I turn towards it soon. But there's a big sand mountain, because we're like borderline on a desert biome. Oh yeah, I was checking how to stop the recording. I'll see you guys later. Bye bye guys. Love you. I'll see you then.